scrawny sucker out on the table, slap him down on the middle of the table for everybody to see, and say, look at this thing.
Smack its ass a little bit, fluff it up.
Wait, that's something completely different. That's not jealousy.
That's another podcast.
But yeah, is to put it out there to not just your partner, but the metamor that is helping or not helping the situation.
Metamor.
Oh yes, we need to define the metamor.
And paramour.
Okay, let's go ahead and let's go back to our thesaurus / dictionary person, Jay.
Well, like Zan and I are metamors.
Right. I'm not in a relationship with him.
You're still my husband.
Paramour is a lover specifically, an illicit or secret lover, a married man and his paramour. A metamour is someone who is your partner's partner, but with whom you have no romantic relationship.
Like Crow.
Still my husband.
Yes. Brusman, husband, whatever.
So that's why I was saying you talk to your partner and you talk to your metamor at the same time if you can arrange it, or just individually. And just not even in a corrective sense, but I need you to stop doing this because in a polyamorous sense, you really shouldn't have any paramours because to be polyamorous, none of your relationships should be secret from anybody, any other of your relationships.
Right. That's what makes it different than cheating.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Polyamory is based out of love and cheating is based out of deceit.
That's why it's also
and
called
cowardice.
Ethical non-monogamy.
Right.
It's ethical about it.
Let's get back to what the jealousy and compersion.
Okay.
And now we're on the compersion end.
Well, not quite, because I was still talking about how you need to talk to your partner and your metamor about your jealousy feelings, about what's happening to you. And you don't even have to have the verbiage. Just tell them where you're at. I felt this way because of this. I'm just letting, and not in a corrective sense of, I need you to stop this activity. I need you to not do this anymore.
It's like, how can we incorporate this into ours so I don't feel jealous about it?
Right.
And not accusatory either. Like,
right.
You did this to me and I'll never forgive you.
Or you hurt me sort of language, more like, this is how I was feeling when this was happening.
Oh, and then we have the really immature ways of them just leaving and not communicating at all, or them completely stonewalling and holing up and just treating you like crap by ignoring you or not, returning text message, phone calls, and you have no idea what happened.
Sounds like you have personal experience with that.
A little bit. Yeah.
I came here to have a good time, and I'm feeling really attacked right now.
Well, Crow, since we're on that subject, never mind. Actually, Crow's pretty good about that.
But we have had experiences where people did not handle jealousy in a mature way at all.
Oh, God.
And it can happen. That can happen, too. And basically,
could write a book on that.
The things happen in life, and you experience jealousy. At first, you thought to yourself, I'm being silly, I need to let it go. So you let it go and you hummed to yourself and you went about your business and distracted yourself. And the feelings weren't really dealt with, they were still there. But you felt like they were gone because you could get on with your day. And then as the day progressed and as the things progressed, you start getting flashes of it again. Is it time to talk to anybody about it? No, let's not do that. That
would make sense.
Yeah, that would make entirely too much sense. So you push it away a little more and you think, I can handle this. It's going to be fine. And before you know it, it's been 2 weeks. The event is long since past. You're still stewing.
And a sneaky little bastard comes back.
And your partner and your metamor or your partner and your other partner have no idea that you feel this way. And they don't get it. And they don't know what's going on because guess what? You haven't told them. It's got to come out.
Oh, it's got to come out or it will come out as something like a... How many heads does a Hydra have?
Oh, 7-ish.
Okay.
Anything more than I think anything more than 2 is a Hydra.
Okay.
Anyway, but it doesn't go away. Suppressed emotions never, ever, ever go away. They just come back ugly. So you come out with it and just own it. Own what you did. Here's what I tried to do. Here's how it happened. Here's what happened next because I tried to do this. And basically, it's just admit it and own it as soon as you can.
And the idea is to build trust with your partners. First off, a safe space where you can actually come to them and tell them those things. And secondly, the more you communicate those little things that come up, the less often they are going to come up.
Yeah.
And you'll just operate kind of in this state of trust and knowing and be able to cope with little things that come up better than you were in the past.
Absolutely. That's a lesson for the partner as well. So when your partner comes to you or your metamor comes to you and said, I was jealous because it is not time for you to get defensive. It is time for you to listen. It's time for you to understand where they're coming from and not go the opposite way completely and be like, well, I will never do this again then. I will never go and see the sunset with this partner ever again just to protect your feelings about don't. That's basically it's a martyred way of approaching the problem. Nobody should sacrifice what's giving them joy so that the other person doesn't feel jealousy.
Right, and that's a good way to make things go bad really quick.
Because that will build resentment, and we're trying to avoid that on all sides.
When we're on a complete opposite end of the spectrum, compersion.
Get some today.
Have you had your compersion today?
I got them compersions are on sale up at the Walmart.
Roll back.
Right, roll back compersion back to jealousy?
No.
No, roll back the price.
How much does compersion cost?
Your whole life.
Guess what? It's free.
Free.
Free? I love free.
It only costs you your soul.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
well
No.
somebody already has it.
Don't we have that in a jar somewhere?
No, I gave it away already.
I shook it too hard.
I'm
It
going
crumbled up, and then we just kind of let it roll.
I'm looking in the storage tank right now, and I think I've got his soul back here, but it's under boxes. We got photo albums. Hold on.
Does it say do not open?
I opened the box. It's just black in here. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, so it is my soul. All right, so compersion.
What's that?
I don't know.
That I guess I come from kind of a poly mindset that I like being happy for other people. I like good things to happen to the people I love, care
Me
about,
too.
want to be around. And that's something that I think is common with a lot of poly people.
You like seeing people happy.
And even if it doesn't come naturally for you, the good news is you can develop this trait of being happy for somebody else. If you've ever been happy for someone because they worked for something and got the reward and you got to see them do it, if you've ever genuinely cheered instead of politely clapped at somebody's award ceremony or graduation, you know what compersion can be like.
Golf clap.
Yeah, if you're sitting there and you're just like, oh, why am I going to another graduation? Or why am I even at this ceremony? It's so boring. Then you might have issues with compersion later. But if you're the sort of person who cannot believe how happy you are, and this person is getting an award for doing XYZ, and you are right there at the front, videotaping on your phone, standing up and hooting when they gain their award, if you're that sort of person, compersion might come a little easier for you.
Right, and that's like a good example. That's actually a really good example. I know I was looking at a friend's Facebook page the other day, and she had posted something about her doing a voiceover for this really big game, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome for her. I am so happy to see this. Stuff like that. That is an idea as to what compersion is. And knowing her for so long and seeing what she's doing now, it's amazing, and I love seeing that with her. So that is just an idea as to what compersion is. Now, when you get into a poly relationship, it's like, say, Jay and Crow go out and do something, and they come back and they have this, giddy energy coming from them because they were so happy. And it's like, oh, that is awesome. I love seeing the fact that they did this. And having them come back, it's like, I get fulfillment and happiness out of seeing that. And that's whenever you feel that excitement, it's like you're not necessarily vampirish taking their energy type of thing. It's more of a, ooh, their energy is making me happy. That happiness is making me happy, and that is compersion. That's an amazing feeling when you can feel it. At the same time, you got to watch out, not to force it either. So that can also be a bad thing, but that's a whole
Forced compersion is lying.
Right.
First off.
It's an almost extreme form of jealousy.
Yes.
right. It's like I'm forcing myself to feel happy, even though I'm so jealous right now.
And it comes out normally in a very volatile way.
Very.
Even if you're not a very socially or emotionally sensitive person, fake compersion can be seen a mile away by most people.
Oh yeah, most people can.
There's a plastic smile.
Jay especially.
There's that overly hearty sound to your voice, and it affects everything. If you're faking it, it's just a parody. A train wreck.
I personally think Jay should be hired out as a lie detector because she will call people out on their bullshit the second she sees it, and she is so good at it too. So it's one of those things that with Jay, one thing you want to piss her off real quick, lie. or even like a slight misstep of the truth.
Yeah.
That'll
I
get
picked that up.
real quick. And then if she picks it up and she's like, what's going on with this? And you lie to her. It's like, ooh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I'm okay. I'm fine. Everything's good. You two go right out.
Yeah.
Everything's peachy.
You know what? My plans have changed. We're going to sit here and talk this shit out is what we're going to do.
We're going to have a come to Jesus meeting. And whenever you hear pagans say we're having a come to Jesus meeting,
yeah. There's all kinds of weird verbiage that can go with that.
I remember one instance in particular that I recall was when Crow had accompanied me to a medical visit to Houston. And we checked in with X and Zan at the time to make sure they were doing okay. They stayed at home. And so we called to check in, and X was it was very easy for me to tell she was not doing well. And we got off the phone, and I asked Crow, do you think you should call her back? And he said no. And I sat there and I debated. Like, well, he's known her longer than I have. He would know better. Oh, no, she's fine. I'm thinking, oh, God, she's really not fine.
She was not fine.
She was not. I actually called her, and she was not fine. But it ended up being okay after that. But it's little things that intuition you can pick up on, little subtle signs, or if you have a keen sense of intuition, then you can use that. It's always good to check in. It's always good to check in. So
with Jay being probably one of the people who experience compersion the most, she could probably give us an example of...
Yeah, there have been plenty of times, almost every time actually, when my spouses go out with their partners. They'll go to the movies and they'll have that glow when they come home, and there are benefits to that for you as a metamor as well, because you get the after effects of their happiness. They're happier to be around. They just generally have a pep in their step, or you get all of the trickling down of them being fulfilled in different ways. One of the biggest examples of compersion that I can think of off the top of my head is it's little things and events that I can do for my partners just to even enhance their time with their other partner. I know sometimes people have a different opinion on interfering, and I don't for the most part, but there are certain things that you could do to actually make their days and their moments happier and more fun or more celebratory for them. It happened to be Valentine's Day, and I wanted, then Crow and X were living in their house, and Zan and I were living in a separate place. And I wanted to be with them, but we wouldn't be able to make it work schedule-wise for us all to be together that night. So I wanted to make sure that Crow and X had a really good night and still show them that I cared. And I came to their house and just set up all kinds of decorations, and I had the bed all set for them, and candles, glitter and rose petals, and
there's always glitter.
There's always glitter. There's always room for glitter.
No.
Glitter is fun.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. No. And they were both at work, and so I had cards for them set out, and balloons, I believe. I had balloons.
Oh, yeah.
And I had things taped up on the wall, little signs, and like the little candy heart things. And when they came home, they were able to see how much I loved them and supported them, for one, and enjoy their night together, for two.
Yeah, I did want to mention, just as something you said, it's only interfering if they don't like it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You're not interfering, you're helping, you're supporting and
that
participating.
That was a big, surprise for them, and that's just some of the things that I like to do. And it can be really, really fun to feel compersion, because you can do things like that knowing, like, the anticipation of them discovering what you've done for them and how much you support them, and it makes them feel good too, to know that they have your support in that way, I think.
Oh, yeah, I fully agree.
So it doesn't have to be anything as elaborate as that. You can do something as simple as just maybe jumping up and down with them when they come home and they're super excited from a great night out, or
It's a lot of little things that can help, that can show them that you care.
Being as excited as they are when they're going out on date night, and just showing that, wrapping your arms around both of them,